Alright everyone, I have hit a snag. Whoops, forgot this. So, the problem is, this needs a lot of clearance on the bottom, because it has to swing down a little bit, so that, and then I assume my rack is going to be on this rail, so literally at the bottom of this extrusion. That means my machine has to be raised up, so it has to stand on something. As you can see, it currently stands on nothing except itself. So, and this goes back to my cooling problem, or my coolant problem, sorry, which method should I employ? Should I use the mist, fog, or a little, what do they call it? Like, it's a intermittent spray of just a bit of water or oil that goes right onto the bit just to lubricate it. Or I could use flood, so just water flood. I guess, assuming if I were to be using flood or any sort of coolant, I would need to use some sort of an enclosure. So, first of all, I would need to enclose my rails. It's steel, not the best, with water. So, and I don't really want to spend the money on using specific, like, oil-based coolant where it's going to be a big mess, expensive, blah blah blah. I really don't want to deal with that. So I would have to cover these up like an accordion style sort of enclosure that kind of goes all the way across. So when the machine is moving back and forth, it's completely enclosed. Same thing on the bottom and maybe or the entire section for the y-axis, and the z-axis as well, maybe. So actually it'll have to be. So if I were to be using flood cooling, what my idea was to raise the back. So the back of this machine, I'm assuming that is the back side and this is my front, where these guys are. So this is my front, that's my back. If I were to raise my back up and tilt it forward, so what would end up happening, actually no, sorry, backwards, scratch that, sorry, have my whole thing, obviously it'll be sitting up because I've hit that problem, so I would have the back of my machine tilted back just a little bit, just so that the water is flowing backwards. If the water is flowing backwards, it's going to carry the cuttings and the chippings back, and it's going to fall over into a giant tray. Now that tray is tilted forward at the bottom of this machine. So if it's tilted forward, all my chippings would stay in the back, and obviously the tray will have these little, they're almost like big, like shallow walls. It's like little inserts that kind of go into it so that when the chips fall, they don't, like, the water will have something to obstruct it to go down. So the chips will hang on, they have a place to hang on to. So the tray will be tipped forward, so that the cuttings and chippings are falling back. The tray is tipped forward a little bit, so then the water will drain forward and go into some sort of a reservoir at the bottom, and there will be some sort of filter, screen, etc. And the chippings will stay in the tray. Now, because I've hit that problem, I need to raise this. I need to raise it either way. So I thought I could get away with using that, or using my machine, or just assembling it on itself without anything standing it up. So my question being, what could I use to stand my machine up so that it's just a bit tipped back? I mean, tipped back just enough so that the water or any flood coolant that I use is flowing backwards, right, towards the back of the machine, and then goes down onto a tray that's tipped forward, and then kind of goes over here, and blah blah blah. So what sort of stand should I employ on this? I'm gonna stop here right now. I'm gonna stop assembling anything. I might just assemble the racks on here, and maybe the top, my y-axis. That's all I'll assemble entirely. So what should I do? I really don't know what to do. Should I have a Home Depot nearby. Well, I mean, like, extremely nearby. It'll take me 2 minutes to get down there. That includes the time of me getting into the car, blah blah blah. So what should I do? If you guys please, if you could please give me any suggestions, that would be awesome, because I really can't think of anything right now that'll help me with this. So if you guys don't mind just posting comments or suggestions on this, I would be eternally grateful to you. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.